Hey, Yanis. So this is Niky's debrief here. I'm waiting on the video link, so I'll send that as soon as I get it. I've said switching from how to take smart notes here. She mentioned a bunch of different courses, so I think it's worth having a look to say which one was most important there. But it's basically other types of courses to do this. She seems to sort of iterate through various courses in art and in other parts of life. To your course, sorry, excuse me. Even though she hasn't obviously started the course yet, she has at least paid for it. So, just a bit of a background to who she is. But she completed her masters last year. She's learned something in that masters that she wants to use to turn into a business and to communicate with others, which is really cool. And she managed to run her first cohort of that in July of this year, which is where the money to pay for this came from, actually. She has a background where she really liked art at school, but was put off by not being good at it, not feeling that she was good at it, I think, but also didn't like the teacher. But she did manage to complete an art A-level, which I'm not sure if you know about the UK, but that's kind of, it's pretty good. Like, not very many people are going to have an art A-level in the UK, I would have thought. When the iPad Pencil and this Procreate came out, she took a course on that, so she's learned how to use that tool. She's watched YouTube videos learning about art and drawing on here, and she loves the feeling of drawing. So it's more about actually doing the task of putting pen to paper than it is about the outcome for her at the moment. She's been on your course list for ages. She mentioned, let me have a look. She mentioned, who was it? This might mean something more to you than it does to me. What was it? Dickie Bush? Well, maybe he's another creator or something like that. But anyway, apparently he was the source of that particular lead. And she loves these diagrams. She's mentioned that a couple of years ago she got this ADHD diagnosis, but it's kind of like in her head there's all these thoughts, there's so much information, it's surging forward, it's trying to get out. Writing it all down is a challenge, so she's taking some of these courses to help her capture the information that's in her head, but also, so I think some of it's like taking the time to slow down, to have a better set of clarity on this. And your content has just hit her from multiple angles, and she's been interested in it for a while. Not uncommon for people here. They're going through a big life change. People change what they buy when their context changes. So her husband's getting to the end of his career. Her career has been more about helping others with the coaching than it has been about making money so far. And now she wants to transition into making some cash out of her business and maybe helping her husband to retire a bit early. And they have a help coach. I can't remember what she called it, but it's kind of it's not marriage counselling. It's like when you've got a good marriage and you want to keep it good, you go and you talk about things you could do together, or you find ways to work. And it sounds like her husband Gareth got a recommendation to be more creative, and then around their 25th anniversary they thought this could be cool, this would be something we can do together. We could both learn how to draw, we can be a bit more creative, and then we can sit and do this as entertainment as we get older and we've got more time now the kids have left. They didn't at the time because it was expensive. Your course, the course they've bought, I think she said it was about $180, $190. I'm sure you can check. But that was a lot of money. They felt that was quite an expensive thing. They didn't think it was bad value. They just thought, this is high priced. So, again, when we talk about pricing, one of the things I find interesting is it's not always I want the cheapest, and it's not always someone says, well, that's quite a lot of money. But they don't mean it's expensive. They just mean that they don't maybe have that money to spend up front. But then by July, the money's in the bank from teaching the cohort. There was time. There was an opportunity to learn Figma, which seemed to be important. If we don't do it now, can we be doing it in the future? So I think you might have had a pricing promotion or something along those lines. And also, more importantly, she's stacking up these reasons to buy. So yes, it's really nice to do it together, but that's a lot of money. Do I really want to spend? Well, actually, now I've got the money because I've earned some from my business, and I was drawn into Yanis's course because he had this skill in creating really impressive images. I'm going to do email marketing because it's brought me in. How do I make my email marketing better? So less about creating content maybe for LinkedIn or for likes, more about, if I'm sending out all these ideas to people, how do I distill them into an easier way to understand it, and will give them a break from just bombarding them with messages. So they've had a look at Figma templates, but not yet done the course. So I've gone through these. I might go back through it again because I do think I'm going to have to re-listen to this one to capture everything because there was so much information. But it's not dissimilar to some of the other stories that we've had so far. I've got all these ideas in my head, but how do I get them out in a simple and clear manner for others? I've got to have enough money in this. In this case, it was new business revenue, but it could be anything else. There's got to be a window of time. Like time is an issue. And when I see an opportunity, maybe it's a promo around August when there's school holidays. Maybe it's some other time of the year. We might see a pattern in this. But there's a time for me to take this. When she's building out the course, the creativity to create a whole course. I mean, you've done it. I've done it. It takes quite a lot of effort. And interestingly, the mental effort of doing this drains her, whereas the mental effort of creating an image or drawing seems to restore that energy. So it's kind of, I'm being pulled down by what I'm doing. I want a release. I need the skills to do it, or I've got the background, but not the talent. I see somebody else who has both the ability to do this, and I feel, can I do that? Or I can't do that. So it's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's jealousy, but it's almost like it's aspirational. It's like I've seen your ability to do this, and I want that ability to do it myself. I've got the creativity, the ideas are there. I need the help to unlock them. Various emails, so I've got to be impressed by it. And actually, in this case here, so she used to run this charity, and the charities get quite a lot of discounts by the sound of things. They get support, they get different licenses, and that's going away. And so now she knows she's going to have to do it on her own, stand on her own 2 feet with her existing business. And back to Kieran the other day, he had this support that was close to him, the person who was doing his graphic design, and then suddenly, whatever, over in the UK time zone away, I don't have the support. Are there parallels there? Is this a similar sort of story? Well, let's see. All about the confidence and the skills. So, it's not just about doing it. I need to learn from somebody that I trust so that I have the confidence to go and do more of this stuff myself. I don't trust myself to do it right now. This tool, Figma, comes into it. So getting these templates in, it's not the major reason, but it is a reason. And without it, the sort of the tipping point may not have come. Something to learn, and by the way, on these tools, it might be worth keeping a track of the various different tools that are coming out. Something comes to replace Figma, or something comes to replace Canva, and I know in your course you've got ChatGPT, how to use that. I think any of these things, how do we simplify this, and how do we teach people new ways of using technology? Because if they suddenly come across them and you're talking about them, it's an opportunity to capture a few more students who've got a desire to learn and use that tool, and that will sort of pull them across the line. She wanted to do something learn with her husband, used to play together. So this whole idea of, let's go and be creative, let's draw things, let's ideate, let's do whatever, let's spend some time together doing this stuff. Like I said, share and explain complex ideas, distill them. I want to capture attention for my new business. I think she mentioned that. So, I need to stand out. I know I need to do something different. This is an opportunity. It's caught my attention, so maybe I could use it to catch somebody else's. And perhaps your message can be more like, do you like my visuals? Has this brought you in? Well, ta-da. Learn what I learn, and then you can bring others in too. That type of thing. That seems to be the mindset of quite a lot of people who are learning this. In this case, discount did work. The August Challenge cohort, it seemed to be about structure and support. So I suspect if she had more money, she'd have probably joined the sort of guided one that I've paid for. But where this was a big expense anyway, the fact that there was some structure and support there, going back to Kieran, he had somebody that was going to work with him to do this. Like, again, is there parallels? If we see a few more of these, maybe this is where the community comes in, and where there's a way to support these people and encourage them without wrecking your business model and investing too much time in working with people who are paying the relatively lower amounts. Improve marketing, relax and recharge myself, and then this kind of investing in myself idea comes up. I'm investing in me, I'm investing in my marriage, I'm investing in a skill that I'm going to have with me for the rest of my life. And I think that Kieran had a similar sort of mindset there. It was, it wasn't about you asked him, do you have a certificate? It's like, no, actually, it's not about the certificate. It's about developing the skill and the confidence and the ability to use the tools. Quite a lot of anxieties here. Have I got the money right now? Do I have the time to do it and invest in it right now? If I buy something, how long am I going to have access to it? Will I get some use out of this? So there were quite a lot there. And I've gone for email marketing for a business. I'm not sure that is the habit. She's sort of a continuous learning type person. So there's a lot of things that she could have gone back to just drawing on a Procreate tablet or whatever. So maybe we capture that. But then the sort of there wasn't a lot holding her back. And once the anxieties went away, that I've got the money, I've got the time, there's a community here that there's some sort of challenge, there's a motivation for me to do it now. It unlocked something that had been sat there, since April, when they had the opportunity to do it for a major life event like a 25th anniversary, and chose not to. And then this really, but the piece at the end, she was talking religious. She goes to church and prays, and she had this image in her head of like it being jungled full of spaghetti, and suddenly it was more like layers of lasagna. And then felt that there was this comparison between the idea in her head and your ability to simplify something. And I guess maybe in this case, it's more when I see somebody who I could have these ideas, but I can't get them on paper and I can't use the tools and technology to do it. So help me do that. I have a feeling that might be the main piece here. And yeah, some of this was just sort of backstory in there. So anyway, hopefully this is useful to you. I found it very interesting to talk to her for that length of time. And like I said, I'll probably come back to this and revise it again, just going back and re-listening to this stuff, because in real time, there was a lot. She speaks quite quickly. She's obviously, true to her word, got plenty of thoughts there. And I was trying to capture all of it and making sure I followed along on her story and got as much detail and insight from her as we possibly could. So hopefully that helps. Cheers.